guys, welcome back to another episode of Dark Diaries. I'm your host, Caitlyn Bradbury, and as always, thank you for tuning in today. There's a shitload of stuff going on in the US, and I don't even know if I can cover it all because honestly, I haven't been able to keep up with the information as much. We got the fucking drones, we got Las Vegas, the Tesla car blowing up. I even wrote it all down right here. We have the New Orleans truck plowing through people. Apparently, both the Las Vegas Tesla blow up and the New Orleans truck incident, both the people were veterans, and one of them is claiming ISIS, so I'm not sure. The Louisiana man is claiming ISIS, what he did there. Now, as for Las Vegas, I'm not 100% sure. I know at first in Louisiana, the FBI was saying to not say that it was a terrorist attack, and then now the mayor is coming out and concurring with the FBI counterintelligence director that it was a terrorist attack. So, with that being said, and if you're listening to this, you need to start preparing just in case. It's better to be prepared than unprepared, meaning physical shape, mentality, being vigilant. And then as for canning goods and shit like that for war, I don't fucking know. Maybe we should talk to the people who have underground bunkers and have been planning for D-Day forever, because honestly, if that shit happens, I'm fucked. I don't know how to can shit. I can work out and I can be hyper vigilant and use some shit from the military. That's about all I got going for me. But yeah, heads up. Maybe we need to start paying attention more, which not a maybe, you should. Get ahead of the ball, start working out, doing things like that, because trust me, you don't want to get caught in this if something does happen. I was listening to Sean Ryan's podcast today on TikTok. Shut up on there. He was talking to a woman named Sarah. I have it written right here. Sarah Adams. She was a former CEI. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Deep breaths, Caitlin. I just started my period, so I'm getting extremely pissed off at myself. And it's one of those moods where everything's pissing me off. My shirt's not fitting right. My bed's too fucking hot. I'm pissed off I have to film in my bed in general. I don't have my own space. My room feels too small. You get the fucking point. Anyway, Sarah Adams is a former CIA officer, and she was talking to Sean Ryan, and she was saying a couple of predictions for 2025 in agreement that ISIS is either going to attack the embassies, or Al Qaeda is going to attack the embassies, or it's going to be the embassies, or why am I repeating myself? It's going to be either attacking the embassies and attacking the United States, or one or the other. And that's terrifying. The last embassy attack that we had, I believe, was in the 70s. Do not, you're going to have to look that up for me. I believe it was in the 70s. I forget where it was exactly at, the name of it, which embassy. But I know it was really, really bad. So I'm praying for everyone in the military right now, having to go through that and being on edge, not knowing what the fuck is going on. That shit is hard. When I was in the military too, we had stuff going on, obviously right before Ukraine and when it was popping off, and we didn't know what the fuck was going on. And with China, my sister was in the Navy as well. She had to be on a ship, go outside the country, and it was just fucking crazy times. You genuinely don't know what's going to happen. So if you know somebody in the military, you should definitely reach out and just be like, hey, I'm just thinking about you, man. There's not really much you can say. And honestly, a lot of military people are going to be ramp the fuck up. Let's fucking go, which sounds crazy to some. But you got to remember that most of the military is young. And second off, a lot of people have already done this shit from the 9/11 attacks and the war that we had. And third off, they fucking joined the military for a reason. It's crazy to think about, because my sister and I, we're both on IRR right now. So technically we're still in the military, but we're not on leave, but we're out. But if something big like this shit fucking pops off, we're going to get called back, because we still have, I think I have 2 years. She has 3 more years left, or opposite. I can't really remember. We just still have time left. So it's fucking crazy, including one of our other friends in town. But yeah, reach out to somebody, start learning more about what's going on, the signs to look for. And we really need to start talking about being hypervigilant. And I don't mean hypervigilant in the way of PTSD, oh my God, I got to look at everything. Because I did that shit too, to the point where it was I was unfunctionable. We don't want you like that. We want you to be hypervigilant in the way that you're in control of yourself and you can see what the fuck is going on around you and make not predictions, but the best educated guess that you can about someone if there's a threat in your area, or understand that you can pick up, hey, this dude's gonna fucking do this, or hey, this person's gonna do this. And I don't even mean just for what the fuck is going on in the United States right now. It needs to be something that you should be working on or wanting to work on, just for anything, especially my women out there with all the shit that happens. We know how crazy the world can be. It's really good to be hyper vigilant. But yeah, Sarah Adams had a lot to say on the Sean Ryan podcast, and it was crazy as fuck. And it makes me a little bit nervous also because I don't feel like what do we do? Because most of our ports are taken by other countries, to include China. Like, the U.S. doesn't really own any of our ports. So if someone comes here, like, we're kind of fucked. They can close down pretty much anything they want. And apparently, from what Sarah Adams had said too, ISIS had trained 1,000 of their soldiers, got them all trained up, even got bombs made that go through metal detectors for the airports and like things like that. Like, that's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. They even made bombs that are not picked up by sniffing bomb dogs. Like, we really need to wake up, y'all. This is fucking happening right in front of us. And with those 1,000 soldiers, she said that they came into the U.S. and they're placed in different areas, and they're probably just gonna like lay low right now until we start hitting the embassies, until they start hitting U.S. soil for doing this. And then obviously we can see in Vegas and in New Orleans, shit's already starting to pop off. So what the fuck else do we have to look forward to, you know? And it makes me nervous because what do we do in the country that we have with no one really, like, I know it's kind of, I mean, it's not shitty to say because it's the fucking truth. We're not as patriotic as we were before. We're not as like get up and like be in arms with someone. Now, I think if someone came over here and started doing shit, like maybe we would, you know, I don't know. I don't want it to fucking get to that point. And I don't think a lot of people want to get to that point. I'm terrified. I don't feel like if they came over here, I don't honestly know if we could hold that many people back, because it would be a full-blown World War III. Do you know how many fucking countries hate us? Dude, we do have a big, strong military. I will say, we do. But at the same time, again, the ports, how the fuck do we get more shit in? Because we don't even fucking control the ports. We're like sitting fucking ducks. Sorry to say it. But let's move off of the war shit, because again, like I said, I just started my period, and if I even start thinking about it more, I'm gonna start getting mad, and not even mad, but just kind of like, again, I just feel like we're sitting ducks, and it doesn't make me mad because it's like, what do you do at this point, you know? But it's just kind of like, why the fuck are we fighting? Why the fuck are we on the verge of World War III? Seriously. Like, I was in the military, dude, and like, yeah, I wasn't a grunt, I wasn't any of that shit, but still, like, I still saw some form of the military, and I still genuinely don't understand why, like, I don't know. I want to talk about something else, though, because it's going to make me a downer, and I don't want to be a downer. Talking about the irritation that I've been having with my period and whatnot, I was diagnosed with empty sella, I don't even know how many fucking months ago, but I'm supposed to go to a neurologist this month to figure out what the fuck is going on with my pituitary gland. I have empty sella, so it's smashed by the cerebral fluid in my brain, and it makes it look like there's no gland, and that gland specifically controls the hormones in your body, hence why a bitch can gain weight like it's her fucking job, and why a bitch can't lose weight that well. It's very hard for me to lose weight. It's lickety split easy for me to gain it. So hopefully they tell me more about that. But in addition to that, when I was going through my big depression and stuff, I used to have regular periods. So obviously this episode's going to be for women, but I used to have regular periods, and now it's like before I would have cramping, and that would be pretty much it. Or bloating. And then it moved to just cramping like fucking hard. And then in my depression, it moved to getting cysts in my breasts, cysts in my ovaries, like fucking all over. I couldn't even turn over, like a titty would flop, and I'm like like in wincing pain because of how bad it was. And then I started having periods that were only 3 days long. Light as fuck. When usually I'm like a heavy bitch. And now I'm experiencing like the fluctuation of my hormones. Like I'm really fucking hot or I'm really fucking cold. Or it's not even like a pissed off or like hormone. I'm not getting pissed off. It's like the irritation. And then I realize, hey, I have to film my podcast in my room. Thank God I have the ability to do this. I am not taking that for granted at all. I'm so grateful. I love doing this. Don't get it twisted. But I'm hormonal and I'm fucking pissed off that I have to film in my room. My room feels too small. I've gotten rid of like 8 fucking bags this week of clothes and shoes and all this other shit, whether throwing away or donating, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm nesting, like I'm fucking pregnant. Like I'm pissed off about my room, pissed off I have nowhere to put my clothes, pissed off this, pissed off that. Not really pissed, but like irritated. Am I fucking pregnant? Bitch, you're not fucking pregnant. Like, ho, it's been like 3 years. You ain't fucking pregnant. It's these hormones. Like even right now, my ankles are hot. How the fuck do your ankles get hot? And I need the doctors to help me figure out what the hell is going on. But it took me 6 months to even get a doctor's appointment for my brain for this. So it makes me not even want to go to the doctors anymore, because it's like, what the fuck are you going to do for me? Y'all ain't going to help me. You're just going to shove pills down my throat. I'm starting to get really more holistic. Like I threw out a fuckload of shit that has obviously toxins and shit in it, like skincare, body oils, hair care, fucking anything, makeup. I really want to switch to holistic shit because I'm very tired of the fucking healthcare system. And apparently so is Luigi. Let's talk about that. What the fuck is going on with that? They're saying that the 2 pictures don't align of him smiling at that girl. No cap, I kind of think they look the same. And I want to hear from him. He said he's not guilty, but they walked him out like a perp too. Like, what the fuck was that? You have a whole army to walk this guy. And everyone's saying on social media as well that why is Luigi getting so much attention, but yet school shooters don't? Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Why the fuck is that happening? We have an issue. We can't do anything about it. But you fucking perp walk Luigi because he killed a CEO. I mean, should he be killing out here in Merkin? No. But you're going to do that because it's a big dog? Dog, I'm like actually scared. Like I would never be ballsy enough and I would never do it. I promise you I wouldn't. But the people in society, there are some people, I don't give a fuck, but there are some people who do not give a fuck. Like Luigi, if he did it. I feel like the United States government is about to start getting hella people on their fucking ass of people who don't give a fuck. Like another January 6th incident, but a massive protest or like fucking something. I feel like something's going to happen. Like, especially with coming out like aliens are real. There's aliens in the water. There's this, there's that. The drones. I don't fucking know what's going on in the drones. I don't know. People are getting tired of it. You're hearing celebrities talk about it. Like even like Joe Rogan, he's like, how the fuck do you not know? And we're making all these conspiracy theories, and then you're hearing some about the drones being Iranian and how they came over here and they're doing all this shit. And like, then you got these terrorist attack stuff. Like, why are you not telling us what the fuck is going on? I understand within 24 hours or something. Like, they need time for information. It's not that easy. So I guess I can't bitch 100%. But at the same time, you're not even trying to give us any information. You've been sitting on shit for fucking ever and saying like the American people can't handle it. The American people can't handle it. We can handle it. And if some people can't, that's fucking on them. Sorry. Like you can't make a decision based on not a couple people, but like, I don't want to say a small percentage, but it's not everyone in the fucking world who's going to be like, not saying you can't handle it, but like, too dumb. Essentially, because they're saying that we're too fucking stupid, which is crazy because do I think that the intelligence factor of America could be better? Hell yeah. But am I saying that it's absolute shit? No. There's genuinely people who could divulge the information and telling us about aliens and stuff like that. You said for years that we couldn't handle that, and then you told us and we didn't give a fuck. So I don't even know why at last episode I was kind of like nervous to come out and tell you guys that I have psychic abilities and I speak to dead people, and I'm putting that in quotes because dead people are not real, meaning it's just other people on a parallel dimension. Like I have a story about that, and it's actually kind of creepy. I believed in ghosts for the longest time, obviously, because I was seeing them since I was 3 years old, and I was like, holy fuck, that's a ghost. Like, I slept in my closet for, I thought it was like weeks or months. My mom told me it was like maybe a month, maybe, but I thought it was like way longer than that. I could have done it behind her back. I don't know. But I used to see shit all the time, and how did I learn that it was a different dimension? I believe I was reading into someone, like giving them a reading, and I saw myself looking at myself. No, it was my own reading. I saw myself looking at myself, looking at myself, looking at myself. Almost kind of like one of those mirrors that you go to when you go to a circuit. I don't know, it's a fucking circus, but like the fair. You know, when you walk in the mirror room and stuff and you're like, what the fuck? It was kind of like that, but it was right outside my bedroom door. And it was almost as if like I was in the back and I could see my little kid self watching my little kid self, and then it was an older version of myself watching my little kid self, and then another older version of myself watching that version of myself watch the little kid version of myself. Like, it was like that, and it was only like three of them, and then the fourth one was me actually watching all of them. So then that's when I started thinking, like, what the fuck is there? Like, what is this? Like, it was Inception shit, but I was seeing it in real time, like with my third eye shit. And so I'm like, what the fuck? And then I think it was months and months later, even like a year later, because this is recent. It was definitely last year. But sometime after this, I found out that it was confirmed that there were 11 dimensions. Mind you, I've always been into this woo-woo shit, okay? I already believed in the parallel universe. I already believed in different dimensions, things like that. But I thought, I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know when people cross that it was like a dimension. I didn't think it was like a heaven and hell. But I guess I did think it was a dimension. But I still recognize those people as ghosts. And I thought that when you die, you die. I didn't think that there was really any more to it. And then since I've been doing this more often and finding more things out, and like I said last episode, my psychic abilities have gotten dramatically better. And I have learned so much. Like, I learned that, you know how people in the real like living world, they have to learn life lessons and stuff. I talk about it all the fucking time, even with my friends and shit, like going through something, I'm like, girl, it's a life lesson. Well, people go through that shit too. On the other side, same thing. They're doing the same fucking thing. And if someone's stuck on something, like let's say you hate your mama and you pass away and you have to somehow learn how to forgive your mother, love your mother, whatever, on the other side before you can move up another level. And that doesn't mean like move up another level like heaven, you get access to this, but it's like you don't get you get peace, obviously, but you don't get the full experience until you really learn these life lessons. And I also learned, this is how I started getting more into reincarnation too, because I was very like, even though I was in the woo-woo shit, I was like, I don't know about reincarnation, yo. I don't really know. I thought you just die and then you stay on the other side for like ever. But from some of the people that I've been in contact with on the other side, they definitely confirm reincarnation. And also with the life lessons, the more that you learn here on Earth, because I've learned that Earth is a school, the less that you will have to do when you get to the other side. So that doesn't mean like be on Earth and be a perfect fucking human, because no one can be perfect and nobody wants you to be perfect, because then how would you learn any fucking life lessons, right? Even though I've gone through all my shit now and I've really done a lot of inner work and shit, I'm still not perfect. I will still make mistakes and I still have to own them. And that also goes into something that I wrote down today, is learning how to know yourself and like gain confidence and stuff, because I've told you guys, like, I'm going to teach you how, but it's not going to be this like, you need to dress good, you need to put makeup on. Half the time you guys see me, I'm not fucking wearing shit. Like, sometimes my hair is greasy because I just got up out of bed. Like this morning I made a TikTok and I saw afterwards, I was like, damn, my hair's a little greasy. Fuck it. Post it, because your guys' hair is greasy. I know that shit greasy as hell. Okay? My bad I didn't get to put any dry shampoo in. You know what I'm saying? Stop caring what people think so much. And when we learn confidence, yes, I'm going to give you tips and tricks and stuff, but it's not going to be like your normal shit. Like, I want you to be a strong person. And we should have more strong people. And it's fucking scary when you really start doing it, because going back to when I was younger, I used to get bullied a fucking lot. And low-key, I still think I'm autistic, because everyone that I've heard that says they're neurodivergent, has a fucking horrible time making friends, and they're like very sensitive and very empathic and things like that, and it just hits me to a T. Unless you really fucking piss me off and you deserve it, I'm going to make sure that you know you fucked up. If it's like really something fucked up, or like you're bullying someone or doing something. But if you're just, being whatever, yeah, I'm going to correct you, but not be a bitch about it. When I was getting bullied, it started in like fifth-ish grade, and then fast forward to high school. High school, it started getting pretty bad. And my mom was actually the one that was like, bitch, you need to stick up for yourself. If you don't start sticking up for yourself, like, you're going to fucking get it. And I was like, I don't want my mama to get me. So I don't remember exactly, but I remember people started doing shit, and I was just like, in my head, like, I'm scared as fuck. Like, they're going to beat my ass. They're going to say some shit to me. Because I was getting it at school, and then I did not, I still really honestly don't get along with my older sister, and like her and I fought like fucking bad growing up, and I love her, but it's just one of those situations where we just don't talk. And so I would go to school and get that shit, and then come home and get that shit, and it was just not just her, there's other shit going on, like family dynamics and stuff, but like, fuck, it sucked. It really did suck, but it taught me a lot. My mom had told me, going back to that story, my mom had told me, like, you need to fucking say something. And so I remember I was at school, somebody said something to me, I don't remember exactly, and I said something back, because in my head I was like, bitch, you gotta fucking say this shit, like, just fucking do it. And I remember telling this bitch off, don't remember what it was about, told her off, and she looked me dead in my face and didn't do shit, like, looked like she wanted to cry. Well, fuck. Then I looked at that and I was like, okay, so if I stick up for myself, people don't say shit back. Why don't they say anything back? So I came home, told my mom. My mom's like, okay, good, you better fucking stick up for yourself, because she wasn't playing that shit either. And I ended up telling her all this stuff, and she's like, yeah, people are scared of confrontation. Like, they'll say whatever to you, but if they think that you're going to be a doormat. If you are going to be someone who stands tall for what you believe in, and, you don't let people fuck with you, you will never be fucked with. Barely ever, if ever again. And I'm like, damn, words are powerful. But I don't want to be mean. But honestly, I'm not going to lie. I went to school and I was not a bitch. Anybody can fucking say that shit. Even now, I was not a bitch. But you were not going to fucking play with me. After that, I was like, damn, words have meaning, and I'm going to be the nicest person I can. But if you are mean to me or somebody else in front of me, I'm going to make your life living hell. And it wasn't even just like, I would never bully somebody back, but it was like, in the moment, if I see you doing it, I will make a public, like, event, and I will cuss your ass out right the fuck there. I will call out everything about you. Like, there was one time in 5th grade, I think it was in 5th grade, we had a fire alarm, and there was someone who was, like, actually beating the living shit out of this kid who had autism. I didn't know he was autistic. I just knew, like, he had something, when I was younger. You know how it is when you're little. So anyway, we have this fire alarm. We go out back. This kid is, like, making fun of this autistic kid and, like, saying shit and, like, shoving him and, like, just fucking with him. The kid's, like, on the verge of, like, tearing up, and he's just head down or whatever. I'm like, yo, fuck this. And I looked at the kid, and he had a fat ass mole on his face. Would I ever really do this, like, to anyone unprovoked? No. And the only reason why I said this about this kid's fucking mole is because he was making fun of physical features of this kid. Fuck you. You're gonna get it back. So anyway, I told this kid, he's got this big fat ass mole. I was like, you got a face only your fucking mom can love with that mole. And he starts crying. I'm like, you better fucking apologize to him. I don't think I cussed, but I was like, you need to apologize to him. And I started making fun of him up and down. Knew about his mama being a little, cheating on daddy. I threw out everything, because you're not going to be mean to somebody when you're going through shit. And that's when I really started learning too, like, not hardcore, because I just thought specific people were assholes. I didn't realize majority people are fucking fake, and project like their pain onto other people, which I don't fucking agree with at all. It's like one of my biggest fucking triggers, which is why in this moment I didn't give a fuck to tell that kid about himself, because it's like, you need a reality check. Over my dead body, is someone gonna fucking bully someone else or do something else in front of me, and you think you're gonna get away with it? Abso-fucking-lutely not. And I was in the military as well doing that shit. Don't care. I will be that person and you will be hopefully too after listening to this podcast, not just this one, but in general to my podcast, to open your fucking mouth when people say shit. Most of the time people aren't going to say anything back, but if they do, at least you're sticking up for somebody, whether it's yourself or somebody else. That kid didn't fucking deserve that. He was walking home from school. I found out later from a teacher who pulled me to the side and like thanked me for telling this fucking kid off, because I thought I was going to get in trouble. I was like a goody two shoes, never got fucking in trouble or anything. Never even had a demerit in high school either. Never even a detention. But I was out here cussing fucking kids out and shit for being bullies. I almost brought a crowbar to school one time because a bitch stole my bag and thought she could fucking do that shit. And I went to the principal after I got caught with the crowbar opening up her fucking locker and told him, if you don't get my fucking bag back, I'm going to catch her after school. I got my motherfucking shit back. Did I get the shit in the bag back? No. But did I get my bag back? Hell yeah, I did. Did I get in trouble? Fuck no, I didn't. And that's not to say, like, you know, sometimes I look back and I'm like, how the fuck did you have so many balls, dude? Even in the military, how the fuck did you have so many balls to say and do half the shit you did? But I'm telling you, that is why I started this podcast. And I'm on my period, so I'm about to cry. I can't believe I'm about to cry right now. It's really embarrassing, but no, it's the fucking not. I've literally posted so much worse shit on here, but it's my fucking period, y'all. These damn hormones got me feel like I'm going through menopause. But when I started this podcast, like, dude, I had nothing. I had nothing. I didn't even have a fucking person barely that I could lean on and say hi to, you know? And just the thought of people going through things and no one sticking up for them, like how I felt, makes me feel like, shit, I would stick up for any of you. If someone's being mean to you and whatnot. And it's just, God, this shit has taught me so fucking much, dude. Who gives a fuck? Really, you have to not give a fuck in the world, because, and I don't mean in a derogatory way of don't give a fuck because, you want to be mean to people. You want to don't give a fuck so that the mean people can't hurt you and you can help other people for the best. I will do this till the day I die. I really will. I don't care if I get 0 views on YouTube right now. 0 views. I barely get anything on my TikTok or on my Instagram. My TikTok's actually ramping up, of course, right before the fucking shit's gonna cancel. But I'm still gonna do it because I like showing up for you guys and teaching you guys different things about myself and how to learn how to be confident, how to stick up for yourself. Like, I was going into rooms and talking to like colonels and other like very high-end people and fitting the game. I really realized, like, holy fuck, I could be in business. I've always wanted to have my own business. My parents have their own business, so it's just always been something that's been really like in my blood of wanting to do. But I really realized from the military, like, holy fuck, I can keep up with the men. Not physically. I'm a shit runner. Anybody who's ran with me knows that fucking shit. I am a horrible runner. But when it comes to getting shit done and being the person in the room to like stay on toe-to-toe with a man, like, you bet your fucking ass. And I'm happy that my background has led me to that, because there's a lot of women that go into rooms who are badass fucking women and deserve shit, and men plow them the fuck over. And unfortunately, one of the things that some people lack is they'll let them. Again, over my fucking dead body. So when I make it, because I am gonna fucking make it, I'm gonna work my ass off. God, these tears, I need to stop. I'm gonna work my ass off to not only show myself like all that fucking shit was worth it, to go through all that alone, dude. God. But I want to be there for you guys, just like I've been there for other people. And sometimes I wonder to myself, like, is the universe gonna give me the manifestations that I want? Because what if me wanting to help everyone so much and feeling this makes me really feel like I need other people to love me, when 100% I've thought that before. 100% I've thought that before. But now I have a lot of love for myself, and it just, you know, it's an everyday push and pull. There's a lot of things that run through my head every single fucking day, but one of them is always being content. Like, what can I do to help other women? What can I do to help other men? What can I do to help society? And I kind of got away from the forensic psychology, which I don't know if you guys can tell or not, just because I don't feel like I can educate 100% on forensic psychology until I start getting more into my doctorate. And we can talk different things like, the Tesla stuff and whatever, but there's just, I feel like the really deep-rooted core that we need to talk about is emotions, and how these emotions that I'm having even right now push me into forensic psychology, and the ways that I just told you about how I can stick up for myself and I can really sit in a room with men and I can fucking run the room. How am I going to bring that into forensic psychology and fight for us? Because it's a question on my mind all the time, because I went through reporting 2 different cases of my own. Mind you, there's been more than 2, but 2 large ones that really fucked me up from sexual assault, and I couldn't even get into a fucking courtroom. Do you know how disgusting that is? That used to, and I've really done a lot of fucking work on it now, so it's almost as if like I've forgiven their soul but not their body. I've really forgiven their soul, but as a person, I forgive their brain and their consciousness, because how could I not after knowing everything that I know about it? But as for them, like, I don't know if I ever will. And it makes me want to fucking fight for other women so bad, and men and children and who the fuck else. When it comes to sexual assault, I'm going to do something big with it. I have no fucking idea what it is. I want to change some stuff in law as well, because they make you feel so belittled in everything. You don't even get to know all the information. If you don't get into a courtroom, you can't ask, hey, why didn't I get in a courtroom? What was the information that, made me not be able to get in? Oh, sorry. You can't know. So it's literally just, that's it, folks. Like, everyone could believe you and you could have evidence, but if it's not a hard fucking proof evidence where the prosecutor 100% could have the leg over the defense, they're not going to take it. It's a fucking winning game. And you can go to civil court, that's awesome, but like, it's not the same as fucking getting it criminally done. And I just, God, that in itself taught me so much confidence this fucking year, because going through all that shit, and I mean, you can see right now, I was just tearing up thinking about how I had to go through all that shit alone. And a lot of people have to go through shit alone, but like, brother, if you're going through shit alone, I fucking feel you, dude. I fucking feel you, and I'm there for you, and you can definitely like DM me, whatever, we can talk about it. But it is one of the hardest things I have ever been through in my entire life. And I was talking to my cousin last night, and unfortunately, I'm not going to say her story, but unfortunately, she can very, very much understand what I'm talking about with my like abandonment issues, because I don't really have the closest family ever. I'm kind of like the black sheep in the family. Like, yes, I live with my family right now, and I love them, and we're all cool and Gucci, like we do things, but again, the dynamic is different. I'm just not the same. And it makes it harder to talk. And then with friends, I've not put anyone really good in my life, because I'm a person who before was like, even though I was telling bitches off and I was doing this and the other, I would at the same time, if I've been friends with you for so long, I was terrified to have people leave me, because obviously I haven't really ever had anyone. So I was keeping people around me that always for years in my heart I knew not the best friends, and I did a lot of fucking cutting off this year, and I'm not going to lie, I don't give a fuck about that part. That part makes me so happy, because it's like I'm moving out space in order to move in more for my manifestations. Like, I'm gaining so much growth. It's not even funny. And it also helped me to discover what I like and I don't like, because it pushed me to start doing more things by myself. I'm not scared to do things by myself at all. I actually love doing things by myself, and I'm not sure why other people are terrified too, but you should really, really try it, honestly. But that's how I started learning how I like different things about myself. And you should do things that scare you. fear really isn't a thing. Like, it is, because obviously if someone comes up to me with a knife, like, my adrenaline's gonna be pumping. I'm gonna be fucking freaking out, right? Like, holy fuck, I don't want to die. But from there was a scientist that essentially said, or a philosopher that said, that fear really isn't real. And when you think about it, let's say somebody has a knife and they're charging at you. If you train and you've trained for those scenarios and you know how to like wield someone off, would you really have that much fear? I was like, that actually makes sense. Or like skydiving. That's like one of my biggest things. Like, I'm fucking terrified of heights like that. Not like normal heights. Like, I can go up into a building, look down, be fine, whatever. It's the fucking planes. Like, even in a plane, I'm fine, but a small plane. When I was younger, my dad was getting his pilot's license. And he's always a person who like fucks around with everyone. Like, if someone falls on their bike, he's probably going to be the only one that's like laughing his fucking ass off. Like, it's funny as shit, right? He would have loved MTV Scarred. But we were in his plane and he was with the instructor and I was in the back. I was probably like fucking 6, 7. And my dad would always like turn like real sharp and he'd tell me to look out the window. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, I wouldn't say this to him and whatever, but my adult version of me saying that, fuck no, I ain't looking out that damn window when you fucking turning. Hell no, because it feels like you're falling out the plane. So one day he's with his instructor and I'm like, Daddy, can I go? Can I go? And he's like, yeah, sweetie, get in the back. So I get in the back. We go up. Everything's fine. I'm looking around. I'm like, ooh, everything's cool. Dad goes, look out the window, Katie. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. He never does it. So let me do it. Yeah, I looked, leaned over. He fucking turned that bitch and turned the engine off. I did not know until this day that when you are flying a plane, you're supposed to do like stall the engine in case that were to happen so you can learn what to do and etc. Yeah, I about shit my fucking pants when I got off the plane and looked at my mother because she was like, Katie, are you okay? And I was like this. I was shaking my ass off, like so much adrenaline. And then ever since then, terrified. I can do roller coasters and shit, but like, I don't know. When I'm going up to the top, I got to take a second. And then I'm one of those bitches when I'm going down, you think that it would be like, like screaming. I'm like I uncontrollably laugh so loud. Like, it's almost obnoxious because I don't know if it's like a mix of my fear / like this is fun as fuck, but I would do it again. So maybe it's the fun as fuck part, but you get my point. Do things that scare you. Not to the extent of skydiving, if not, because I don't know if I will ever be a skydiver yet. But should we do things that scare us? Yes. Have I done things that scare me and learn from it? And some of them I actually enjoy. Yes. Another example. I'm currently training Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. I absolutely love them both. I haven't been there in a month because of everything, like I said, school, break, doing all my content stuff, sick as fuck. But I'm going back soon. But in the Marine Corps, and even before the Marine Corps from the first sexual assault, I got like a weird thing of fighting people. Like, it makes me feel very anxious inside. And I would have fucking panic attacks when I was in the Marine Corps. I would literally get up, let people beat my ass because I didn't want to do it. Get up, walk away, and have full-blown panic attacks, like hyperventilating and shit. It just was a fucking trigger for me for whatever reason, exercising in front of people and then looking at me and shit. I could not fucking do. So now as an adult, after going through therapy and shit, I'm like, well, I really like Muay Thai and I really need to train. Like, I've gained fucking 80 pounds this year. I think I've lost around 30 now or 40 something. I need to train. I love fighting. I've always, since I was little, have wanted to do the shit. But the jiu-jitsu part and competing scares me. Not training jiu-jitsu, but the competing part. And that goes to show, like, you don't have to do MMA or specifically just one or the other, jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, and compete. You don't have to. You can just train. But because it scares me, it makes me want to. Because why does it scare me? It scares me because I don't want to lose. I don't want to be weak. I have a thing with weak, like with being weak. I was always taught growing up, like, don't fucking cry. I'll give you something to cry about, which everybody's had that shit. But it came from like both sides. Like, I had a very strong mother and I had a very strong dad, but it was not the normal dynamic that you would think, but it was good. But like, I'm just fucking terrified of it. And so I'm doing it, and honestly, I like it a lot. I'm still a white belt. I have no tab for jiu-jitsu. I need to be more active in that one for sure. I've been doing more of Muay Thai, and that's mostly striking and kicking and whatnot. You're standing up. Jiu-jitsu's groundwork when you're on the ground. Ladies, you should definitely look at it. It's a really good workout. If you don't want to do something like that, try kickboxing. It's kind of like Muay Thai. Really fucking good conditioning. You'll learn a lot. There's just so much in the world of fighting to learn from, not only metaphorically, but also like for your mental health and obviously physical. Like you're losing weight, you're conditioning hard as fuck. Dude, like I threw up 12 times the first day of jiu-jitsu, getting back into it after like almost a year. 12 fucking times, dog. And we didn't even do warm-ups and shit. We were just grappling and doing other shit. Like it's fucking, even though it doesn't look intense sometimes when people just look at the mats, because I'm not saying it's not intense, because it is a fucking intense sport, especially like when you're competing and shit. But for someone just walking in willy-nilly, not knowing shit, and like looking on the mats and seeing people just roll around and shit, they might think, oh, you're just rolling around, like it's not that bad. Dude, it's fucking tiring. But when I say that I get up from the mats every single time and I'm so fucking happy I went, it is so worth it, especially with Muay Thai too. Learning how to strike, you got to get punched in the fucking face and feel what it feels like. Like getting punched in the face for me, especially with mitts, it's like, to be honest, you don't really feel it. Like it depends on your adrenaline rush too, but with mitts on, it's different than the hand. With the hand, I've only had it with grown men. So that one's kind of, I mean, it hurts, but like it doesn't hurt until like pretty much like way afterwards, because then that's when everything really starts hitting in. But the boxing shit, like don't be scared of that, because it's a little pop. You feel it, but you're like too in the zone and stuff. Just try it, because you never know what can happen. Like you really don't. But you know, I have to admit this too, y'all. Fuck, I'm not even sorry. I'm being straight up, and it makes me feel better when I just start telling you guys everything about my life and what I think. I filmed for maybe like 10 minutes before I started the opening of this podcast, and I was just rambling, and I was very much like and taking breaks, and I was like, what do I talk about? I always do that before every single podcast. I'm like trying too much to think of like what's going on in the world, what can I talk about? And it's like, to me, I'm like, oh, no one wants to hear about my personal life. Like I can't just always talk about my personal life. And then I look at other podcasts and I see them doing that, and I'm like, but I listen to their personal life, so I know people would listen to mine. And I guess my biggest fear is I don't want you guys to get on Dark Diaries every single week and then be like, I'm just going to hear about Caitlyn. Like, I understand that, but the only reason why it's kind of like that right now is because I'm by myself. I do have some predictions for myself that in a couple months I'll be able to do more with guests and whatnot, but as of right now, like I can do it on the screen, but who the fuck wants to look at a screen at another person and talk, internet connection? I don't like all that shit. But I was filming like 10 minutes prior, and I can only film with my camera for an hour, so I have my phone right here, and I keep a timer on of exactly when I started it, and I only have 8 minutes and 21 seconds left. Isn't that insane? Oh, God. But I thought I'd be able to film so much more on my Canon than just an hour, but I guess not. But, oh my God, I can't talk. Another thing that I'm happy that I started this podcast for is that it's giving me the ability to learn how to speak, learn how to put everything together. Because when I was in Japan, I used to be lickety split. I had fucking words out of my ass for you, and I could talk like no other. And ever since all that trauma shit happened, it's like my cognitive ability just went fucking down the drain. Like when the night I went to the ER for the horrible migraines, I literally, if this computer is the nurse, I looked at her and she's like, "What's wrong, sweetie?" And I was like, I knew my name and shit, but it's just not there. I could not even get my fucking name out and tell her what the fuck was wrong with me. My cognitive shit has gotten better, but it's not as good as it was in Japan, and I'm a little scared it might be because of the PTSD stuff. Like it just kind of fucked up a part of my brain, or it's this empty cell of shit. So I'm gonna get that tested, and like I said, this month, and I'll let you guys know. But we gotta start paying attention to things like that, and like I said, the confidence thing, and just learning how to be your fucking self. Stop giving a fuck what people think and help each other. And hypervigilance, like I've talked about a lot in a short amount of time that I have. I couldn't do a full hour because, like I said, I filmed 10 minutes prior, but we need to look at that stuff. And it's not okay to just sit back and not live your life. Like, the things I'm telling you, take it or leave it, but it's going to put you in a position to be the driver of your own life. Meaning you're going to be sitting in the driver's seat of your own life, okay? You're not going to be in the passenger seat anymore, just letting shit happen, letting people treat you how the fuck they want, being a fucking doormat and shit. I've been a doormat. I've been bullied. I've been sexually assaulted. I've worked with men. I've worked in different areas with men, like the military, the ambulance. Like, I have actually a lot of fucking experience in shit. And I am so hyper vigilant of people and reading them, and with my psychic shit. Like, I have a lot to offer the world. And you have a lot to offer the world too. So show us. Like, you're doing us a disservice by not being your true self. Honestly, that's what it is. And I heard something else on TikTok today saying that the old generation was the consciousness but not the self-awareness, and then we're the emotion. Fuck, I forgot. See, I've been trying to tell y'all shit and I forget. But essentially it went something like they have the consciousness but not the emotion. No, that was us. And then the older generation has the emotion. But guys, I'm fucking this up. I need to get off this fucking pod, dude. Like, again, figuring out how to make the podcast work when it's just yourself and like reiterate everything, especially with these like brain fucking issues going on and my memory, makes it difficult. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm getting tongue-tied, but have a good week. Okay. I don't even know what I was going to say. See, I need a fucking drink. I don't even drink. I need to get a guest on here soon. I really do, because I have so much that I want to talk about with you guys. But then when I have little moments where I'm like this and I'm like, and I like lose track of what I'm talking about, it makes me get in my head and then I start shitting on myself. Like, damn, you don't even have anything to fill in the gap. Like, now you're going to have to edit this. No one's going to listen to this. And it's just my old self telling me shit. If I had more time, I would tell you guys about the astrology thing that I just saw about Geminis. I'm a Gemini. And the year 2025 and all the shit that's going to come up. And it's good fucking shit. So I know that I'm going to be working my ass off and getting better at this. But this episode is still good. But I'm getting fucking tongue-tied. I'm on my period. I need a brownie. I need a blanket. And I need to get the fuck out of this room. Because it's too damn small right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to catch you guys next week. Okay? And I promise you, it'll be better. We're going to have more to talk about. And I'm not going to be so tongue-tied. Love you guys. Bye.